what was that? That was a new toy I have. Let me show you. It's a dulcimer. A reversed dulcimer. You know, lap dulcimers, you lay them in your lap like this, and you play them. You know, you play. Well, this is a reverse one. The strings are flipped over, so you can play it like a guitar. Okay. I didn't say I knew how to play it. No. This is made by Siegel, Canadian guitar manufacturer. I'm not sure why they made it. I bought one of the early ones, and as you can see, it has numbers. 1, 2, 3. That makes it a toy, because they give you a book. And they say, okay, you want to play it, go tell Aunt Rhody. That's a 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. And anybody can play it. I love taking this to where I have children in an audience, and I have them come up and they can all play it. But it's far from a toy. Yeah. I even wrote to the company and told them, you know, that's not a toy, that's an instrument. Well, yeah, well, we really... I said, because take those numbers off, because it's not a toy. And they said, well, you know, it's kind of a toy. And then I noticed they stopped advertising it as any kind of a dulcimer. Now they advertise it. I don't know how they advertise it. But it's a fun little instrument. Has a real mountain sound, a couple of drone strings. Can't play it with anybody who's playing the guitar because their chords won't match it. Oh, like I said, I didn't say I knew how to play it. Now, it's missing. It's missing some frets. There should be a fret in there. And so, you know, it's like the Native American flutes. You can't, doesn't have every note that's on the piano. No. As a matter of fact, when I sing Amazing Grace, which I won't do right now because I really messed that up. I sing it in a slightly different melody because it'll match this tuning. But there are people who have actually gone out and sent it back and had the missing frets put in so they could play a real scale. Well, that was, you know. So anyways, this is a Seagull. I call it reverse lap dulcimer. Lap dulcimer people hate it. Yeah, they think it's obnoxious. Yeah. That's why I love it. It just aggravates them. All right, I'm going to get out some music, and I'm going to do a song that wasn't written for this, but I adapted to it. So let me get set up here, and I'll push the button again and get back to you, okay? So don't go away. Met a man in South Georgia. His name was Rufus Jackson. Man, he was a sweet man. I really liked him. I have since lost contact with him, and I feel bad about that. It was a big black man, and hands is twice as big as mine. It was really a marvelous, marvelous man. And he tapped southern pine trees, kind of like where we would tap maples. So he tapped southern pine trees, and he claimed he tapped 2,000 of them. I don't know, that's an awful lot of trees. And he'd tap it in the spring of the year, you know, when the when the evenings are cool and the days are warm, and that's when the sap is running, and he would tap these southern pine trees. Evidently, the southern pine trees have a lot of sap in them. I don't know if you know that. Southern pine trees are very, very hard. Construction people say that quite often you have to drill a hole before you put a nail in it. I don't know how true that is, but it's hard wood. It gets as hard as our ash wood maybe. But anyways, he tapped 2,000 trees, and he's the fourth generation, fourth one that has been tapping trees. And then now after he gets the sap, and it's just like syrup, he has to boil it. So he has a still. He has a sap still. Yeah. And he boils the pine tar down, and he actually gets 3 products out of the pine tar. After he boils it down to a certain point, he takes off, I don't know, the liquid part of it. That's right. The part that's floating to the top, I suppose, comes out in a big coil, comes up, drip, 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 drip. That's turpentine. That's right. When you go to your local hardware store and you buy a can of turpentine, what you're buying is a can of pine tar that's been boiled down so it's real thin. He had wonderful pine tar stories and turpentine stories, and how, as a child, he had any kind of stomach problems. His mother would always dip a little sugar cube in turpentine and give it to him. I don't know about that. But anyways, that was the first product he got off, and he sold it to manufacturers that would process it and bottle up turpentine. That's probably what you're buying at the hardware store. Now, after that turpentine is boiled off, then he's got kind of a sticky substance there. It's a little heavier body, and he'll boil that for a while, then he'll pull that out, and they use that for making blasting powder. That's what dynamite sticks are made out of. In the early Civil War days, they made bullets out of it and powder out of it. And so dynamite sticks are made out of this sticky stuff, which is the pine tar. And then when they got it all boiled down and they get right down to the bottom where it's just some really heavy, sticky stuff in the bottom of the pot that they have to scrape out. You know what they made? Rosin for the fiddle bow. That's where rosin comes from. Hardened pine tar. So now, there's going to be a test on this later on, so make sure you get this. What's the 3 products? Turpentine, blasting powder, and rosin for the fiddle bow. Oh, here's old Rufus Jackson. Well, boil that pine tar down, boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the steel and boil that pine tar down. I didn't say I know how to play this thing, did I? Boil that pine tar down, boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the grill and boil that pine tar down. Did I say grill? No, it's not a grill. He's not making hamburgers. It's a still. Oh, here's the story, all right? Rufus Jackson. It's a true story. I'm not embellishing any of it. Southern pine grows straight and tall. Boil that pine tar down. You worked for your daddy when you were small. Boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the still. Boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the still and boil that pine tar down. This is why lap dulcimer people hate this instrument. they start steaming and they start twisting and they start rolling their eyes, and I love it. In the spring of the year, the sap will run, bowl that pine tar down. Hey, you worked for your daddy when you were young, bowl that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the still, bowl that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the still, bowl that pine tar down. Remember the test? Remember that? Let's see how good you are at this. The end of the results, you all know. Boil that pine tar down was turpentine, blasting powder, and rosin for the bowl. Yeah, boil that pine tar down, boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire the still, and boil that pine tar down. Boil that pine tar down, boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, fire up the still, and boil that pine tar down. Rufus Jackson, a man I met in southern Georgia. That's what he did for a living. Rufus, if you ever hear this, I just want to let you know that I have enjoyed the short time that I've known you and the stories that you have told. And to you folks out there, I hope you had a little fun. I sure did. Bye-bye.